There are two kinds of people in this world. The people who fail to do what they know they should, and those who keep doing things they know they shouldn't. Guess what? You're both. Hi, I'm your host, life and business coach, Marcy Barker, aka your loving kick in the pants. In this podcast, I'll teach you the 6 steps of my accountability code that will help you wake up with clarity and show up with aligned action steps that make follow through easy and peaceful. All right, let's jump in. Good morning, my beautiful people. I'm excited to share with you a review of the accountability code, because I think it's been a while, and this one might be a short episode because the accountability code can be applied in so many different ways, and it can be drug out or it can be very quick. And somebody posted in my group, coach told her to take action even if it didn't feel like the perfect direction. And I was like, I would not want to do that. I would not want to do that at all, because I feel like taking action in a direction that you feel is not right, or there's a chance of it not being right, creates resistance. And my big promise as your life and business coach is that I will help you make follow through easy and peaceful. So if there is a massive amount of resistance or enough that makes you want to not do the thing, then it needs to be addressed before we can move forward. And this person, I commented and I said, no, I would not want to take action in a direction that I didn't feel was right. And she said, so you will only move forward if it's the perfect direction? And I said, yes, if it's the perfect direction for me in this moment right now, then yes. And I think that's all we really can do in terms of taking action, is we have to decide in this moment right now if it's right, because we can't tell the future, but we can use the past to recognize like which direction is going to be best for us right now. And you guys know me, I am not the kind of person to sit around and not do anything. So I think that's why the accountability code is a really beautiful tool, because you cannot utilize the code unless you are going to put reflection and humility first. And if you don't put reflection and humility first, then your execution is going to be just like everybody else out there who's just trying crap and they don't really know if it's going to work. It's not really productive. And honestly, that's why people don't follow through, is because they don't feel in the moment and in the near future that it's working for them. And then that resistance makes them stop. And I've seen it time and time and time again. I've worked with thousands of clients, and even from the beginning when I started my business, I was always trying to figure out why people didn't reach their health goals. And it was because they were shooting for things that weren't really their own desires. And the accountability code really is a special piece of information and framework that can help you make the right decision right off the bat without needing everything to be perfect, but it needs to have enough direction that you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Here's the other thing too. If you go and pursue some sort of goal or action plan with resistance, then you have more chances of regretting that time. And if you make sure you're in the right direction, then it doesn't matter if you fail, if you didn't get the outcome that you wanted, because you're still going to find all of the good reasons why you pursued that. And that's because it felt right. So let's dive in. The accountability code is a 6-step process that helps you become aligned in your mind and body so that follow through becomes easy and peaceful. That is my promise to you. If you use these steps and apply them to any goal or struggle you have, you're going to be more productive, more accountable, and happier with your actions. The first step of the accountability code is reflection. Reflection is thinking on your goals, your values, and your problems. Congratulations, you are an expert at reflection, because we cannot stop. Our brains are always going, and it's a human experience to have this thought process going on all of the time. So reflection can look a lot of different ways. It can be, what's keeping you up at night? It can be, what do you spend your time on? It can be, what conversations are you having regularly with people? What sort of themes are popping up in your life? Reflection is the place that you have to start, because as a coach, I'm going to ask you, why did you come here? What do you want to do? What is your purpose? What is bothering you so much that you're ready to do something about it? Okay, reflection really is a needed piece of information before you get started. And, a lot of coaches, they don't really care about what you're reflecting on. They care about giving you their process without even considering if it's right for you or not. So adequate reflection, whether it's journaling, talking, documenting, looking over your past calendar, your stats in your business, anything. Reflection can be thinking on your goals, your values, and your problems. So this gives us our starting point, because I don't know if you caught it, but this piece of reflection is, what are you spending your mental energy on enough that you're ready to do something about it? The second step of the accountability code is humility. So humility is where we recognize who we are right now compared to who we can be, and we tap into those sources that are going to help us accomplish that next step. This is not about being perfect. It's also not about stripping away your confidence and ignoring your potential. Humility is your ability to tap into your greater strengths in whichever shape or form that is to you. It can be communing with God. It can be opening up a course that you bought and you haven't finished. Humility can be talking to a friend about something you did great or something you did wrong. Humility is your ability to take a step back and say, what are the things that really need to be addressed in order for me to be successful? Because a lot of times people do just kind of pass over or skip the things that are really bothering them, and they just go straight to planning. And I'm here to tell you that, sure, you might get some results if you skip humility, but in the long run, you have to address those parts of you that are related to your inner soul, or else your results and your success is not really going to fulfill the need that you have as a human being. So humility, I invite my clients to consider the factors of, do you need to talk to God about this? Do you need to apologize for something you've done wrong? Do you need to recognize what in your past you didn't do and you're ready to change it or do something different? So humility is that piece where you say, I have to face the reality of how I got here in this situation, and I want to be better and I intend to do better. So I'm going to not ignore this information that's been popping up in my experience. The next step of the accountability code is planning. So this is where we start to say, okay, we intend to take action based on these feelings that we have expressed. So with reflection and humility, the plan needs to be in alignment with those two things. If you are trying to plan something that's not related to your inner being and your desires, then your plan might not be super productive or even effective. And if you are not addressing what came up in reflection and humility, then your planning can also be a distraction to what you really need. So planning is a detailed proposal for achieving success. So if you are going to go through the entire accountability code, I want you to recognize that planning is a very open and broad step. It's something that's like the big picture. So you don't have to get super detailed with it yet, even though the definition of planning means a detailed proposal for achieving success.
Hey listeners, the message of waking up and showing up is yours for the taking. In fact, it's free. I've recorded my entire audiobook and I'd love for you to consume it between episodes. Head to marcybarker.com to get instant access to the accountability code Wake Up and Show Up. All right, let's jump back in.
So in your plan, a lot of times I will talk to my clients about, okay, what are we in the process of doing? What is something that you've already tried to do? What is working about it? What's not working about it? And is this plan even realistic for you right now? And it's really amazing to see how incredibly smart people are already. A lot of people doubt our ability to do the thing. It's at the beginning of this step where people are like, I need help. I need help implementing. I need help executing. I need help being accountable. So the plan sometimes can be very, like I said, broad, but a lot of times too, people don't really know if their plan's going to work because they haven't fully executed it yet. So planning is a general idea of like, okay, what do we think will work? How can we approach this situation with the humility and the reflection that we talked about? Okay. So planning, again, is very broad. Now let's take it a little bit more narrow and let's move to the next step of the accountability code, which is implementing. Now, implementing is the beginning of showing up. So if you have heard or you've gotten my workbook, my tagline, is wake up and show up. And that is actually the title of my book, The Accountability Code, Wake Up and Show Up. So the first 3 steps, reflection, humility, and planning, those are all waking up. That's all your brain saying, okay, we've been thinking about all of this stuff. You could literally sit on your couch and do those 3 things, reflection, humility, and planning. But now the second 3 steps of the code are the show up part. So implementing is putting into use your desired skills or values. So this is where we begin to say, okay, what are your strengths? What are the things that you need to do on a regular basis that are going to reach your goal? Now, one thing that is important to point out about implementing is that you're never done implementing. Implementing are not things that can be checked off your list. They're things that need to happen regularly in order for you to become that kind of person that accomplishes the kind of goals that you're trying to bring to pass. So implementing, I also like to tell my clients that, if you died tomorrow, what would you be so glad that you did today? Those are the kind of things that you need to bring into your daily life. So implementing, again, is putting into use your desired skills or values. This could look like a morning routine. This could look like a check-in. This could look very different for everybody, but implementing really is those small daily things that you do regularly that help you become and not just achieve. All right, the 5th step of the accountability code is commitment. Commitment is dedicating yourself to a person or a cause. And a lot of times commitment is the ability to say, I'm actually going to do this thing. And I tell my clients, commitment items are black and white. They can be proven and you either did them or you didn't do them. So it's different with implementing. Implementing, you can do something regularly, but you still might not reach your goal if it's not specific enough. Like, hey, I want to be a better mom. Well, you're going to be doing that for the rest of your life. But if you got to the commitment level and you said, okay, I commit to doing this to be a good mom, then we would narrow it down. So mine is like, I commit to being a good mom by having dinner on the table each night, no matter how hard I work or how successful or not successful in business I am. Eating dinner at the table with my family is something super important to me. So a commitment item could say, okay, out of the 7 days, I'm going to do it at least 5. And that can be proven. My kids would be able to say, yeah, we had dinner at the table, or no, that did not happen. So commitment items, keep in mind that these can be proven. And one of the great things that I do with my clients is we get really specific on what these commitment items are, because just like that post I referenced in the beginning, I think that is something the poster and this coach could benefit from. Is the post was take action even if you feel like it's not in the right direction. And the commitment items, this is where I sit down with my clients and we say, okay, do these resonate with you? Is there any resistance here? And if they feel like it's not the perfect direction, then guess what? We adjust them. So even if I was like, 5 days a week for dinner, that's going to be kind of tough, then I would take into consideration all of the different pieces of resistance that are coming up, and then we would adjust accordingly. And if I go into a goal knowing that I can 100% accomplish it, then I'm going to be motivated and excited and more equipped to make that thing happen. So commitment items are very important when it comes to wording and the actual things that you plan to bring to pass. So commitment items, those are my favorite things, because as an accountability coach, those are the things that I keep on tab with my clients every time we talk to them. I ask about their commitment items, knowing that their commitment items are 100% doable and realistic for them. The last step of the accountability code is feedback. And feedback is also one of my favorite things to talk about, because feedback cannot really be collected until you actually do something. So just again with that post, if you go and try something that's not in the perfect direction, the feedback that you're going to get is probably not going to be that great. If you go and try a plan that you're not really excited about, this is where people begin to say, oh, I've tried everything and nothing worked. And it's like, maybe you should have tried something that was more specific to you, or received help applying a goal in a very personal way. So feedback is information used as a basis for improvement. And like I said before, if you take direction that you're excited about, but you still fail, the feedback that you receive is going to be motivating and uplifting and engaging. So with feedback, I really like to talk about feedback with my clients, because it is just really awesome to hear how people are more happy in their life and they're more productive and they're more successful. And it's because they're taking aligned action and not just random action, hoping that it will work. So I hope as you have gotten a review of the steps of the accountability code that you do use it. And I'm not asking you to use it perfectly. I'm asking you to use it honestly. And that's really all that is required for you to be more accountable to yourself and to your goals, is to be honest about what you're working with, honest about the goals that you're setting, honest about what you really care about. And when you do that, I can guarantee you, you're going to be happier, you're going to be more at peace, and you're going to feel much more successful when you look at yourself in the mirror and you look in your eyes and you're going to know like, okay, I am doing a good job and I'm doing my best and I'm doing the things that actually matter. And when you do the things that matter to you, guess what? That's where true accountability is accomplished. And the accountability code can assist you. And you all know, if you're listening to this, that the accountability code is a process I'm more than happy to walk you through. You can book a free call with me and we can talk about whatever your goal or your value or your problem is. We'll start with reflection and I'll take you through a process in a very easy way. And, you know, sometimes when I do free calls with people and we get to their commitment items, I do make it very clear, like, until you pay me for a loving kick in the pants, you're not really going to receive the kind of accountability that you might want. But even if you are not ready to pay for it, or you're like, I'm not ready to go at that level yet, that is 100% fine. But I do want you to benefit from the benefits and the blessings of utilizing a process that gets you going in the right direction, so that every other piece you take after that is going to be super productive and effective and brings you more peace and happiness. So let me know if I can help you in any way, shape, or form. But I stand by the accountability code, and it has produced so much happiness in my life as well as the lives of my clients. So I encourage you to use it, and I thank you so much for being here to listen to Your Loving Kick in the Pants.
Hey friends, I want to thank you for listening to this episode of Your Loving Kick in the Pants. If you got any value out of this episode, I would love for you to drop me a review or share with a friend what you learned. All right, I'll see you next Wednesday for Your Loving Kick in the Pants.